All right, so we're back for another deep dive, and today we're going to be talking about 1899, that Netflix show. It's a good one.
Yeah, it's got people talking, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. People are sending in questions and theories. They're hooked.
Definitely. And it's smart how the show uses those classic mystery tropes right from the start. Like you've got the Kerberos, this steamship full of migrants, all heading to New York, 1899, all excited for a new life.
Yeah, new beginnings, right?
Exactly. And at first, everything seems normal, mundane, but then...
Yeah, but then they find that other ship.
Right, the Prometheus just drifting abandoned, except for one little boy.
Oh, that's creepy. Like a total ghost ship vibes. I instantly thought of the Mary Celeste. You know, that real-life ship that was found totally empty back in the 1870s, still a mystery to this day.
It's like that primal fear of the unknown, isn't it? 1899 really taps into that, but it goes even deeper than just an abandoned ship. I mean, the names of the ships themselves, the Prometheus and the Kerberos, those names are not random.
You're totally right. They're like straight out of Greek mythology. Prometheus, the titan who stole fire from the god. And Kerberos, well, he's the three-headed guard dog of the underworld. I mean, come on, I got about ominous names for ships taking people to a new life.
Right, like it's foreshadowing something.
Totally makes you think, are the passengers being controlled, trapped?
Yeah, Prometheus brought knowledge to humanity, but he was punished for it, and Kerberos keeps the dead from escaping. Are these clues? Are we supposed to be worried about these people on the Kerberos? I think so. The show wants us to think about it.
And then there are those triangles.
Oh, yeah, the triangles.
Everywhere, on the clothes, on the ship. Even in those secret messages, they're finding, what's the deal with the triangles?
One of the videos you sent in had a really interesting take on this. The triangle, specifically the one pointing down with a line through it, it's an alchemical symbol for Earth alchemy, is all about transformation, like turning lead into gold.
Whoa. So maybe those triangles are hinting at a transformation, maybe even a change in reality itself.
The show definitely makes you think about that possibility. But even if you just focus on the plot, the mysteries just keep piling up. Mysterious death, people reliving their worst memories, and then you've got Daniel showing up claiming to be Moira's husband. It's like every character is hiding something.
Right. You don't know who to trust. It's like the show is daring you to figure it all out.
It creates this constant feeling of unease. And then just when you think you're starting to get a handle on things, Daniel drops the bomb.
I know. I was like, what?
He reveals the truth. The Kerberos, it's not real. It's a simulation. And it's not 1899. It's actually 20.
Yeah, I was floored.
Talk about a plot twist.
It explains a lot, though, right? Like all the weird, impossible stuff.
Exactly. Time being messed with, the deaths, the warping of reality. But it also raises a whole new set of questions, like why? Why are they trapped in this simulation? Who created it? And for what purpose?
And remember how the show keeps mentioning Plato's Cave?
Oh, absolutely. The allegory where prisoners mistake shadows for reality.
Like, the show's directly playing with that concept, asking us to question our own reality. Are we just stuck in a cave, mistaking what we see and hear for the truth?
1899 goes deep, man.
Deep, deep. But the show doesn't forget about the characters. You actually care about them and their stories. They're all complex, flawed.
Right. And their past traumas, their secrets, they're all connected to the mystery somehow. Take Henry, for example. At first, he seems like the bad guy, right?
Yeah, totally.
But then it turns out he's just as trapped as everyone else.
Wow, makes you rethink everything you thought you knew.
Who are the real victims here? Who's pulling the strings? And then, bam, another twist.
Yeah, it wasn't Henry who created the simulation, it was Maura.
Her own motivations are so personal. She did it to save her dying son, Ellie.
It throws this huge ethical question at us, right? Is it okay to keep someone trapped in a made-up world, even if it means they stay alive?
Heavy stuff. There are no...
So many mysteries, still unanswered questions. What are Kieran's motives? Is this reality on the spaceship even real? Or just another layer of the simulation? And where are Daniel and Elliot now?
And that's the genius of 1899. It sticks with you. It makes you think. It leaves you wanting more.
That ending was a total mind-blower, Maura, waking up in 2099. And that message from her brother, welcome to reality. Is she really free? Or is this a whole new mystery? I need answers.
The perfect cliffhanger. Everything we thought we knew gets flipped on its head. It makes you question, what does reality even mean? How much control do we really have over our own lives? Just when we think we're escaping the simulation, we get thrown into an even bigger unknown.
1899 is a show that rewards you for paying attention, but it also embraces ambiguity. It doesn't give you all the answers. It makes you think.
Right. Some people find that frustrating, but I think that's what makes it so fascinating. It invites you to come up with your own conclusions.
It definitely sparks conversation. And even after all this analysis, I feel like we've only just scratched the surface. There's so much more to unpack.
It's like peeling back the layers of an onion.
Exact. So if you haven't seen 1899, I highly recommend it. But be warned, It's a show that will stay with you.
It's a trip. It gets under your skin. And if you have seen it, I say watch it again. You'll notice new.
Yeah, there's always something new to discover.
And that brings us to a question for you to think about. If we can't ever be sure what's real, how do we even define our own reality? How much control do we really have over our own life?
It's a question that feels more relevant than ever in today's world, where technology is blurring the lines between reality and simulation.
It's something to ponder for sure. One thing that really stands out to me about 1899 is how it rewards you for, like, the show is packed with symbolism, hidden clues, recurring motifs. You really have to.
It's true. It's like a puzzle box.
Exact. And one of the most striking visual elements, as we talked about earlier, is the triangle.
Oh yeah, the triangles are everywhere. It feels like they're connected to all the big themes, the mystery, the hidden knowledge, but I'm still not 100% sure what they mean.
Well, there are a few different ways you could interpret them. On a symbolic level, the triangle represents the Trinity mind, body, and spirit, and it can also symbolize balance, harmony, interconnectedness. But on a more literal level, it could represent the structure of the simulation itself, or maybe even the key to unlocking its secret.
And then there's the whole alchemy connection, right? The downward pointing triangle with the line through it, the symbol for Earth.
Exactly. That connection to alchemy really adds another layer. It's like the show is hinting at some deeper level of reality, something beyond our everyday understanding.
It's pretty mind-blowing. And it makes you think about the nature of consciousness and memory. Like, remember that scene where Henry tells Elliot that even if you delete someone's memories in the simulation, their body still remembers?
Oh, yeah. That's a powerful scene.
It suggests that there's a level of knowing that goes deeper than our conscious mind, something embedded in our very being.
It really makes you question the limits of our own knowledge, right? If our bodies can remember things that our minds can't access, what else might be hidden?
That's a great question.
It's a question that's been around for centuries, and 1899 doesn't give us any easy answers. It just presents us with this puzzle box of symbolism and metaphors, challenging us to find our own interpretation.
It's definitely a show that rewards multiple viewers. Every time I watch it, I pick up on something new, some little detail I missed.
I know, right? It's like peeling back the layers of an onion. There's always something more to discover.
Speaking of layers, let's talk about that ending. When Maura wakes up on that spaceship, is that really reality or just another level of the simulation?
It's the big question, isn't it? The show is deliberately ambiguous about whether she's truly escaped.
It's frustrating, but also brilliant.
Exactly. Some viewers believe she's finally broken free, while others think she's just stepped into a different simulation, maybe one that's even more complex.
And there's evidence to support both interpretations.
Right. Like, remember that message Maura finds on the spaceship? Could your coffee kick in before reality does? We saw that same message written in those books back on the Kerberos.
Oh yeah, good point.
So even this seemingly real world could be another construct, another layer of the simulation.
And what about those strange veins on everyone's faces? They don't look so healthy.
Yeah, they're pretty creepy. Could they be a side effect of being plugged into simulation for so long? Or a sign that they're still not in the true reality?
Another clue that something isn't quite right. And the name of the spaceship itself is in the Prometheus.
Oh, yeah. That's a deliberate choice. Brings us back to that initial symbol of knowledge, rebellion, and the consequences that come with it.
Full circle. It makes you wonder if Maura's brother Kieran is trying to achieve something similar to Prometheus. Like, is he trying to liberate humanity? Or is he manipulating them for his own gain? We still don't know his motives.
And what about Daniel and Elliot? Where do they fit into this new reality?
Yeah, are they still trapped in the simulation? Or have they somehow transcended it? So many unanswered questions.
The last thing Daniel says to Maura is, "I'll always be." It's both comforting and unsettling at the same time.
I know, right? What does it mean?
Is he saying that he'll always be a part of her, even if they're not physically together? Or is it a hint that he's somehow woven into the fabric of the simulation itself?
It's up to us to decide. The show leaves it open to interpretation.
And that's part of what keeps you thinking about 1899 long after you finish watching it. But it's not just Daniel and Elliot. What about all the other passengers?
Yeah, they were all called to the Kerberos for a reason. They're all carrying their own traumas and secrets. What happens to them now that they're awake?
Will they have to confront those buried memories, all that pain they tried to escape? Or will they just create new simulations to hide from it all?
It's a scary thought.
1899 seems to suggest that there's no escaping from who we are, no matter how hard we try to run or how deeply we bury our pasts.
That's a powerful message.
It's both hopeful and bleak at the same time. It acknowledges the power of the past, but also offers glimpses of hope for transcendence.
And it's not afraid to ask the big question, even if it doesn't give us any easy answers.
Exactly. What is reality? What does it mean to be human? What are the limits of our... 1899 takes these age-old questions and reframes them through the lens of technology and simulation.
And that makes them feel incredibly relevant today.
Absolutely. Especially in a world where algorithms and artificial intelligence are playing an increasingly bigger role in our lives.
It makes you wonder, do we actually have control over our choices? Or are we all just puppets being manipulated by some unseen force?
That's the question, isn't it? Free will versus determinism.
And don't forget about about those mysterious letters that all the passengers received?
Oh yeah, those letters!
They were all called to the Kerberos for a specific reason. But who sent them? And what was their ultimate purpose?
Another one of the show's big myths, and it ties into the bigger question of control. Who's really in charge? Is it Mora? Or is it someone else operating on a level we can't even comprehend?
It's like there are layers upon layers of control.
And we're just scratching the surface. 1899 is a show that keeps you on the edge.
It's definitely a wild ride.
It defies easy categorization. It's sci-fi, it's a psychological thriller, it's a philosophical meditation, and it's a character-driven drama all at once.
It's a show that demands your attention and your willingness to engage with its mystery.
And your courage to question everything you think you know.
Because in the world of 1899, the truth is often much stranger than fiction.
And the line between reality and simulation is becoming increasingly blurred.
You know, it's funny how 1899 plays with our expectations. Like we're trying to solve the puzzle, figure out the next twist. And just when we think we've got it figured out, bam, the show flips everything upside down.
It keeps us on our toes, that's for sure. It makes you question everything you see and hear.
Totally. And it all comes back to that idea of deception, right? We're being misled, not just by characters, but by the simulation itself. Like, can we believe anything? Is it all just a lie?
It's a question that really gets under your skin.
It does. And it makes you realize it's not just about the external mystery, like the missing ship, the symbols, the technology. It's also about the internal mysteries, the stuff the characters are hiding, all those buried memories, the facades they put up.
Yeah, like everyone's wearing a mask protecting themselves from the pain of the past, and the simulation becomes their stock.
And as the show goes on, those layers of deception, they start to peel away. You see the cracks in their facades.
Glimpses of their true selves.
Exactly. And that's what makes the characters so interesting. They're not just plot device. They're real people with their own baggage, their own motivations.
And their own vulnerabilities.
Yeah. You find yourself rooting for them, even when they're making bad choices.
1899 does a great job of exploring these universal themes, grief, loss, guilt, the search for redemption. These characters are all running from something, trying to escape the pain that haunts them.
But the show keeps reminding us you can't outrun your path, no matter how hard you try.
Your memories, your traumas, the choices you've made, they shape who you are, even when you try to bury them.
It's a powerful message. It makes you think about your own life, your own choices.
Exactly. 1899 challenges us to confront our own existence, all the messy, complicated parts.
It's not always easy to face those things, but I think that's part of what makes the show so rewarding. It makes you think, it makes you feel.
It stays with you long after you've finished watching it.
It really does. It's like encountering a great work of art. It provokes you, it challenges you.
And it expands your understanding of yourself and the world around you.
I love that. It's been a fantastic deep dive. I feel like I understand 1899 on a whole new level now.
Me too. It's been a pleasure unpacking all of this with you.
So to wrap things up, if you haven't seen 1899 yet, I can't recommend it enough. But just a heads up, this is a show that will stick with you. It gets under your skin.
For those who have seen it, I encourage you to rewatch it. Look for the details you might have missed, those unanswered questions. Let the show's themes and ideas really sink in.
1899 is more than just a show. It's an experience, a journey, a mirror reflecting our own search for meaning in this increasingly complex and uncertain world.
Maybe by trying to unravel the show's mysteries, we might just uncover something profound about it.
That's a great point. Well, that's it for our deep dive into 1899. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.